All right. How we doing? Let's go, let's go, let's go. Okay. Everybody wake up. Oh boy. Hey Eric, how you doing? It is beginning. No doubt about that. Jessica, yeah, I'm always 2 minutes late. I don't want to confuse anybody and show up on time. So I'm always like 2 minutes late. How's everybody doing? Are we ready? And it's weird, man. It's weird prepping for the playoffs when other teams are still playing. Speaking of which, let me check this here real quick. What time is the game tonight? Let's see. Hurricanes and Canadiens. Kyle and I will be streaming that game. We'll have a recap, the whole deal. That'll be tonight at 7 o'clock. Scientist says Puljujarvi, Kirsten, and Asplund were sent back to Charlotte. Interesting. I guess I'm not surprised about Kirsten and Asplund. Puljujarvi, I thought might have been able to stay up, but he's not going to be on the ice, so there's really no reason. He may as well go down there and play some games. But if for some reason we need a call-up, I think he would be – well, him. Don't forget Sordiff too, right? Hopefully we don't have to get that deep into the lineup. Mike, how you doing, bud? Yeah, I don't think we have a schedule yet because I don't think they can even guess to know. Jameson, I would believe it would be Sunday. I believe it would be Sunday, and then it's just a matter of, if they're going to just do every other day with the Panthers and Lightning, being that there's really not much travel. So we'll have to see how it all works out. And then, they know Toronto, Ottawa, but they don't know who Montreal is playing. They don't know who Washington is playing. And I guess especially since they might have to play a Canadian team or might not, I'm sure that's messing with the scheduling. So, Steven, you say the playoff format has to go, sick of the same matchups. What would be the difference? And I'm not arguing it. I'm just asking, what would be the difference right now? Who would we play? Would we play somebody different? Interesting. Steven says maybe the ding-dong penalty did pull it. It's possible, Steven. It's possible. There was really no reason to do that, especially the way that the game was going, the type of game. Boulevard, yeah, the Canadiens game is going to be much watched today. Yes, Kyle and I will be there. We need Montreal to get a point. Meadow says we played Carolina. All right. Well, yeah. I guess that's a little bit more of a favorable matchup, right? How you doing, Icy? New Jersey would be at Toronto, so Toronto will get that, or Ottawa at Tampa. All right. Dietrich, I appreciate that. Yeah, that's basically it. That's, on paper, Tampa, I'm sure Tampa fans are pretty damn confident, right? Steven says Zito to renegotiate the Jones trade after last night would a stinker retain 50%, you bastards. I really would. I've said it 1,000 times. I wish that first round pick would have been for somebody to retain more salary, but it is what it is. Ed Mills continuing with the 1-8 would be Edmonton at Dallas. That would be a good series. Colorado at the Kings. That's interesting. Mike says that I bet they were just as confident when they lost in 5. Maybe. Hey, we're all confident in our teams, though, right? I mean, it is what it is. But hopefully we start on Sunday. Hopefully it just goes every other day. there really would be no reason for us, the Panthers and Lightning, to have that second day off in between, because there's basically no travel. No, I agree, Michael. There's nothing to read into last night's game at all, for sure. Over says, how mad do you think sports should be if every team had won a championship? To me, it makes it kind of boring because there's nothing to chase anymore. Huh. I mean, it does add. It certainly does add to things like, Buffalo, like the Bills in football, right? Hey, Amanda, you think Cooch is going to get frustrated like last year? I hope so. I hope we're able to frustrate them defensively, right? It's definitely not the same two teams from last year. We won't have Stamkos to pick on. I'm half kidding, but you get the point. No pun intended. Trey says that I dropped my mic in water. Is there something wrong with the mic? Mike sounds like I'm on the phone. All right, hold on a second. Hold on a second. Oh, let's see. That's weird. It's the same mic. It's on the Yeti. Hold on a second. It's not just. Did taking my headphones out change it? Otherwise, I'll back out and I'll come back in. It's the same mic. Nothing has changed. Slip Rempe $50 to Kuna. Sounds echoey. I'm going to back out and I'll come back in. Just give me a second. I'm just going to back out and come back. Chris says I sound fine. Hey, Colby, it's called puck blockers. Overmodulated. That doesn't make any sense, though. Because nothing has changed. I'm just wondering if it's hold on. Let me take off the echo cancellation. Let me know if that makes any difference. It shouldn't really have a problem, but it's the same setup I used this morning. I'm too loud, the mic can't take it. Now I'm clear, sounds better. Okay. All right. All right, thank you. It's weird. StreamYard will do. We'll have these settings that sound right, but they're not. Like they'll turn on the echo cancellation on purpose without you knowing it, and it sounds weird. Colin says Megan got promoted to the playoff roster. Okay. We're gonna need the extra guys. Kenneth says you thought Jaws might get a kick out of the message, but I missed it. What did I miss? Hold on. You see, in Canada, the leaders want to postpone the election debate because the Habs game is on. No way. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, they probably should, right? I think that's a good idea. All right, thank you, Kenneth. Thank you for the sound. Yeah, Michael says, I don't trust programs that fix the audio for you. Yeah. All right, well, thank you for letting me know, because I don't hear myself how it's sounding. So, Trey says, this is why Quebec should secede. Michael, no, man, they can't lose. I'm going to keep saying this. We need Montreal in the playoffs. I don't want to have to rewrite the entire Game 1 intro. I don't want to have to rewrite the whole thing. Montreal needs to get in. They can't blow it like that. No, they can't, Michael. We can't allow this to happen. I know. People want Columbus to get in for the Johnny Gaudreau thing. Exactly, Dietrich. We need the Canadiens for the Caps upset. I can't believe Montreal blew that game to Chicago. They're getting nervous, you know. Or says just for that, Montreal is losing and the Blue Crackers are winning tomorrow. You think the Jackets can beat the Caps? Colin, yeah. Well, what are they? They're doing the Olympics next year, right? So it's gonna be another situation, kind of like this one, where they're taking a lot of time off. So the schedule's gonna be a bit more condensed at points. Alaska and Hawaii, yeah. Alaska was nice though, man. Different kind of people, that's for sure. And then who does Columbus play tomorrow? Michael says, I think anyone in the East except the Leafs can beat the Caps. When do the Jackets play? Thursday, right? Yeah, they play tomorrow. They play the Islanders. So we just need Montreal to take care of business tonight. There's no reason that the Hurricanes should even try or care about this game. All right? Hey, Amanda, thank you. Thank you, Amanda. So she wants to know, she's asking what will be our starting defense and who is the seventh man, odd man out. Well, I would figure the 2 games that Ekblad's out, I think he's going to go. I'm not saying this is what I would do. I'm saying this is what I think Maurice is going to do. I think he's going to go Forsling, Balinskis, Mikola Jones, Kulikov, Schmidt, and then take Balinskis out and put Ekblad in that spot when Ekblad comes back. I don't think that, because Maurice likes to not change as many pairs as possible, or not change the lines as much as possible. So he's going to want to keep the bottom 2 pairs the same and just put Balinskis with Forsling and then take him out. Balinskis will go from the top pair to off the ice. That's what I kind of feel is going to happen. Michael, you agree? Colby says Toronto will make it to the finals and then lose in Game 7. Oh, my God. I don't know if that fan base could handle that, Colby. I don't know if Toronto's fan base could handle that. Hey, Pigeon. Life without Terrar Armstead will still look the same for the Dolphins. 3 wins. Maybe 5. Maybe 5. 5 could be pushing it. To Vegas in overtime. Colby, oh, my God. Don't do that to those poor fans. Wolver says the Canes are weird, though. They always win these games when they shouldn't try to win, but lose bad when they try to win. I know. But now, an interesting thing for Carolina here is they do get to participate a little bit in who they might possibly play in the second round. Because whoever, Montreal or Columbus, they're going to be playing the Caps. So if Carolina is looking forward at all, who would they rather play if somebody beat the Capitals? Would they rather play Columbus or Montreal? Because they do have a little say-so and all of that now. Colby says Devils in 5. Woo! They're just so injured, Colby. I don't know. Yeah, Michael, exactly. I did not see the hype video for the Panthers. Was it, Colin, was it put out by the team? Kate says that backlash for Toronto losing in Game 7, that would be worse than Vancouver. Yeah, that's not right. Volvar. I can't imagine, Jameson. Vancouver couldn't handle it. I can't imagine, especially to an American team, right? Of all the teams, Vegas. I don't think that they would. I see. We still don't know right now. Chucky's Game 1. Maurice had been so quiet about it. It was put out by the team. Thanks, Colin. I'll have to check it out. Trey says Vancouver is going to burn when Quinn goes to New Jersey. Oh, boy. I think it's going to go 7, Eric. Hi, Ari. No, we're good. We just started, right? Michael says, I don't like the Leafs Sens round 1, and there's no chance for the Canadian teams getting knocked, for all the Canadian teams getting knocked out in round 1. That's right. Yeah, that's a good point. It's a good point. Michael. Vincent says, did you sleep enough, Josh? You look tired and we're only getting started. Burnout is a real thing. I've been burned out for about 3 years. Maybe 2. Maybe 2. I'm here. I'm consistently here. I'm hungry. I should have eaten a little bit before the stream. Jessica, did I see who got another straight shutout last night in the Buffalo game? No, I didn't see it. Who got a shutout? Trey. Adam, how did we get there? How did we get there, Vincent? So Adam Fox is coming to Florida. How did we get there? Adonis says, yeah, remember, we've been to the Cup since Jaws started streaming. I know. I always say, Kyle and I have never streamed a Panthers playoff. We've never streamed a playoff game, period. Or Stanley Cup game, period, after we've been eliminated. It's just you, Vincent. Why would we? How are we going to get Oregon Jones for Fox? Is that what we're going to do, Vincent? Oh, that's right, Stolars. That's right. Yeah, you shut out Buffalo 3 straight times. Yeah. Yeah. Stolars is going to be a problem. Stolars is going to be a problem, but you know, Omar doesn't exactly suck. That's going to be a very interesting series. How long's the travel? I think we talked about this. It's not long. The travel between the two is not that long. Michael says the Cup is here, is never going back to Canada. I don't know. I think in Montreal, eventually, once Montreal gets going, Trey says Montreal is going to be the team to break that curse. Adonis says Jones for Bouchard. We got Jones. We're stuck with him for better or for worse. How come we haven't re-signed Bennett yet? Supposedly they were doing contract negotiations. It got real quiet. Trey says, if that was our tagline and we won the Cup again and we had shirts with and still with hashtag I had still on, I'd buy 10. I don't care if it's Fanatics. That would be pretty cool. We could have done that last year with the Eastern Conference Championship shirts, but it's not the same thing. Colby, he says, hot take. The Leafs are going to sweep the Sens and then obliterate a banged up and tired Florida team. Very interesting take. I don't know about that. Sweeping Ottawa might be a bit high. Yeah, Cade Calgary got eliminated. That's right. That's right. Almost. Almost. Don't be surprised if Stolarz pulls a 22 Vasilevsky. Ugh. He's really playing out of his mind right now, for sure. Yeah, and Trey was saying they were going to win it last year. I know what you're saying. Trey was saying since last year that they would be the team, the Canadian team, that would break the curse. Metal says, which Canadian team has the best chance to win the cup, in my opinion? In terms of this year, I'd have to say Winnipeg. I would have to say they probably have the best chance. I mean, they all, no matter which Canadian team you say you're going to pick, somebody's going to say, oh, they're probably going to choke. I don't think Edmonton's going to beat the Kings this year. I think the Kings just by default, just for the fact of they keep playing them over and over again, I think the Kings are going to finally beat the Oilers this year. Yeah, the Panthers have been banged up for 2 seasons, right? Eric, yeah, it was pretty decent. I was surprised. I didn't think guys would get going like that, but then Puljujarvi pulled that stunt. Steven says Ottawa beat Toronto every time this season. I hope they continue that trend in the playoffs. And I think Boston beat us every time last year too, right? I mean, we've learned the regular season matchups, they just don't, for whatever reason, they just seem to not mean that much. Colin. Yeah, it's because the Bennett puppet wants the Publix meal deal. Oh, that sounds good. I could eat a sub right now. I should have eaten before I came on here. Now I'm hungry. Okay, he says, I think Wolf is going to be a goalie to watch next year. Yep. If Calgary can put themselves a decent team together, it's not easy in the West. It's not easy either way. But they did what they did, got Huberdeau Uyghur. They haven't really made that much of a big splash since then. They're going to need to add. I mean, Huberdeau's got to be like 40 by now, right? How old is Huberdeau? Because he was before Barkov, right? Huberdeau came first, right? Yeah, he's 31. Yeah, Huberdeau came first. Huberdeau's only almost as old as I am. What did he finish with this year? Jeez. 62 points was a minus 13. Nothing spectacular. His shot percentage went way up this year, 18.3. Last year was terrible, 8.4. I don't know. I mean, it was always an interesting thing to try to build around a 30-year-old. Windy City, how you doing, bud? Says it's sad to see the season's over already for the Blackhawks, especially when everything has been turning to good hockey for the Hawks. Are you guys ever going to get out of the basement? And I say that with respect and love. It's like, you guys got to be sick and tired of just like, oh, it's the Hawks, they suck. Like at some point, I mean, you got a goalie now, right? It's like at some point, you guys got to at least get to where like you're mediocre. Like, how's the fan base handling that? Are they having patience? Or is the fan base kind of like, this is enough of this? Colby says also for the first time in NHL history, the Conn Smythe winner will go to the losing team twice in a row. Can you imagine if McDavid won again and they lost again? Oh my God. That would be that. Can you imagine that? That would be great. Eric says, Panthers wanted Tampa last year. Now Tampa wanted the Panthers this year. About right. Colin, yeah, I'm sure Bennett would like him to stay, but he wouldn't be staying on that line anyway, I would think. he'd be staying with Lundell and Luosterainen. Let's just see how Marchand does in the playoffs, right? Yeah, exactly, Michael. Trey says Montreal has an incredible front office, which is rare for Canada. They have done it right, for sure. Oh, so Colby says that'll be Stolars who gets the Conn Smythe despite losing. Interesting. Kate says Edmonton is wiped. Looks like it. Eric, I would tend to agree with you. He says whoever wins Florida the series is going to get the cup. I would certainly agree with that. Of course, it's not a guarantee. Vincent says, honestly, Marchand looks like a perfect fill for the Panthers. We really needed a madman. Plus, that makes our Finn line a threat. We need healthy Kachuk. Our top line is better than last year. The problem is they don't want to score by design. Yeah. Yeah, that's about right. That's about right. Marchand's going to push that line, though. You can see it. He's going to force those guys to try to put the puck in the back of the net. If only Luosterainen just needs to step it up just a little bit. Right? Just a little bit. I know, Cooch is at 120. Isis says, seriously, this might bite me later, but watch out for Toronto in the playoffs with Stoli and Net. I think that's what they were missing to get far in the playoffs. You could be right. I mean, it very easily could be Panthers, Leafs in that second round. And just, I mean, he's been lights out. He's been really playing well. I mean, especially late here in the season. Let me check this out here. He's at 214 and a 926. I mean, that's better than Vasilevsky's numbers, I think. What do we turn this guy into? Huh? He had his best seasons where he played any games. Now at Anaheim, he played 28 games, started 23. He had a 267 and a 917. Then the next season, he was at 373 and 899. Before that, he had some decent numbers with, very small sample sizes, 4 games, 7 games. Then with us last year, it's incredible. His numbers are even just almost a little bit worse this year. What the hell? Is that you, Kyle?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm fine.
Okay. Last year with Florida, 203 and a 925. And this year's a 214 and a 926. That's crazy. That save percentage is just about, almost dead on. Goals against is super low. I mean, that's Vezina type numbers. He just didn't play enough games. He only started 33 games. Hey, JC. Colby says there's this one Lightning fan who's correctly predicted the Cup winner each February the last 5 to 6 years. He said Leafs this past February. Well, he's fixing to be wrong now. That's one way to ruin your reputation. Yeah, the Panthers power play versus Tampa PK. Well, we don't live and die by the special teams. That's why I really didn't bring it up all that much in the series preview. I mean, it's obvious. Stay out of the box, right? We obviously need to stay out of the box, but there's only you only control that to some extent, and then it just depends on what kind of refs you're gonna get. Yeah, good point, Adonis says, all this success was not possible if not for Lion King. I still have that poster. Silva says, please, 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 whatever happens, no 1-0 game in Game 7. Ugh. Last time it made me quit watching hockey for a half a season. I can't take another one. Yeah. I'll agree there. Stolarz has 3 shutouts in his last 4 games. That's crazy. That is just nuts. Well, Allmark's got his work cut out for him, that's for sure. Donnie says we still didn't need to sign Stolarz. We had to give Knight a chance at some point. Well, are you talking about the Panthers last year? You had to have Knight. Remember, Knight was coming back from the player assistance program the year before. And they knew that they wanted to have him take a year and just be in the AHL and just know that he was the guy in the AHL. Jameson says Avalanche are going into this playoffs with a quiet confidence. They aren't getting talked about much. Getting Landeskog back could be a huge boost for them. I wonder what he's got in the tank, right? Like it's hard to come back at all from those circumstances, but under the circumstances of us jumping on the ice into the playoffs, it could work out. I still think Rantanen's gonna. I still have Rantanen making a difference in that series, but that's just my stubbornness. Jessica, yeah, I know. Look at Toronto's defense now. Look at who they added from last year. Yeah. Good point. Good point. Kachuk says, oddly enough, our stats against Tampa since Kachuk is out, they only got 2 more wins than us, but 33 more goals. It doesn't matter how much you win by. And that's a good point. That's one thing I talked about a little bit in the series preview, is that the goal differential with Tampa, I'm not really going to get overly concerned about it because Tampa's kind of team that can pour it on. Where with Florida, if we get a 2-1 lead, we're like Vincent says, we're going to try to not score by design. So I have no doubt that if we got a 2-1 lead and decided to go run and gun, that we would be winning game 7-4 as well. Not that Tampa is allowing 4 goals a game, but you get the point. Trey says the Avs are winning the cup. Dietrich, I think it's going to be Montreal at some point. Ari says, just remember a quote by somebody, all bad things end in Toronto unless you are a Maple Leaf. Vincent says, Stolarz plays around 30 games for a reason. Playoff tempo was no joke. He's never felt it. That's a really good point. And yeah, no doubt. He's proven he can do it in short bursts. But only playing, is that all he started this year? He's really only started 33 games. I thought he had more games in him. So did Woll get more? Well, Stolarz was injured for a while too, right? He was injured for a while. I mean, he's going to be fresh. There's no doubt about that. This is the year he's had the most time on ice than any other season. By 480 minutes this year, more than last year. Yeah, Katie says, let's hope we don't get the cranky refs who lost their money on the Stanley Cup final reverse sweep. Lil J, I hope Chucky's on the ice. We just haven't heard. I just want to see him practice with the team. He needs to practice, right? Before he would just go out there in the playoffs. But then again, he played game 4 to broken sternum. I don't trust any of them. Michael says all the Canadian teams in the West out in the first round, and then the Panthers take out the last Canadian team in the second round. You really think the Jets are going to lose in the first round? That would be. I think Winnipeg's going to finally win a round. Be some depressed Canadians. Yes, exactly, Colin. Go Habs tonight. Completely agree. Thank you, Michael. I appreciate that. Kachunkin says, Knight ate up too much cap space. Best case scenario was how we rehabbed him and then flipped him. Yeah. I mean, he's just not going to get a chance with Bubba here, right? I mean, Bob's going to at least be here next year and probably 2 more after that. By then, Chicago could possibly be a playoff team if they actually can put it together. Meadow says, yeah, Colorado making the final. Yeah, I'm just waiting for the bracket challenges to come out. Obviously, we got to wait. Colin says, Zito's calling Knight like I miss you and Vanny is not it. He played a good 10 minutes last night. There were about 10 minutes he actually tried. They'll just say Knight's better than Stolarz. At least he won a playoff game. Oh, sure. I mean, his numbers might not be that. But if you're giving me one game, it's a good question, though, actually. If you had one game when you had to play, you had to win it. Game 7, who you got, Spencer Knight or Stolarz? Huh. It's a good question. Are we still at only 3 likes? That's so weird. Hit the like button, people. Appreciate it. I appreciate that, Michael. I never asked for it. But the more you guys hit the like button, the more that YouTube shows the stream to new people. And if we get new people, then I pay my electric bill. Silva says, I remember in 22, my dad got me so damn excited for the Panthers. He said they finally got good. He watched games 3, 4, 5, and 6 against Washington and fell for it. And then the Tampa circus began. Oh, man. That was a fun regular season, though. So, God, that was a fun regular season. But we had to know. We had to know you just can't go into the playoffs and win every game 7-4. Jamie says, so when do we shave our faces and start our playoff beards? When round 1 schedule is released? I'm going to do mine probably, well, I guess not until the schedule is released. I was going to say Thursday, but we don't know for sure. We may not know Thursday until after the Columbus game, depending on what Montreal does tonight. So it had to be Friday. I'll take this down to the nubs. And then we'll just see. I've already informed Donna. She knows that I'm going to have a big bushy beard for about a month. Is what it is. Colorado and Florida in the finals. CAD Drafter 48. It took me a second to see that because I'm old and my eyes suck. Yeah, that would not surprise me. That would be a beast of a series, though. Florida would have a hard time with Colorado's size, and they're good. Trey says, Ottawa scares me because the entire team will be playing fast and loose. Meanwhile, Omar has something to prove. I don't want to give away my series preview there, but that's on point with kind of what I'm thinking, Trey. No way, Eyes. I didn't even see that. Oh my God. He says, so sad that Calgary was eliminated. They even came back and won last night. We turned it off because we watched the end of the Wild game, and they get the goal with 20 seconds left, and they clinched. And then when we turned it off, it was 3-1 Vegas, and we figured, oh, well, doesn't matter anyway. And I didn't even look at the score this morning. Jeez. No, it would not be fun, Kachuk, and I'm not going to say it again. I need a point from fine, 1 point from Carolina. I don't care. We need 1 point from the Canadiens. I need Montreal in. I don't want to have to rewrite. Michael says you guys talk about Vandy the same way you were talking about Bob when the team sold him out every night. Poor guy just gets to play with 1/3 of the team in front of him. No doubt. No doubt. But it's not like Vanacek's numbers have been, I mean, you know. Vanacek's numbers is not, career-wise, it's not been overly spectacular. So where's his numbers? The best season he's had, he started off okay. He started 36 games for Washington, had a 2.69 and a 9.08. The next year he started 39 games for Washington, a 2.67 and a 9.08. Very, very consistent. Then he started 48 games for the Devils, had a 2.45 and a 9.11. Then the wheels came off. He had 29 games for the Devils, was a 3.18, 890. 17 for San Jose this year at a 3.88 and an 8.82. And then this year in 7 games, he's got a 3 and an 8.90. So did he get injured? Did somebody know the story about him? I mean, his first 1, 2, 3 seasons in the league, he looked like an upper echelon guy, maybe not Vasilevsky type, and then the wheels just kind of fell off. Yeah, Lil J, now that's the truth. Vanny is especially trash moving side to side. Absolutely agree there. I've seen that a couple times already, for sure. Lil J says, watch Montreal lose just for Columbus to beat the Islanders in overtime and not make it. That's right. They have to win in regulation. That's right. I says, I didn't shave in 23. We lost. And I shaved all of the 20. You shaved all of the 24 playoffs you won. Chris says, I'm not allowed to cut my beard. The wife says she would leave me. Yep. Jessica, I put the Panthers series preview out this morning. I already put the Panthers and Lightning series preview out this morning, and I'm going to try to get to Toronto and Ottawa this afternoon. Connor says, as a Tampa fan, sadly, I think the Cats will win in 5 or 6 games. I mean, obviously, I hope you're correct. I have PTSD from Tampa and what they did to us those 2 years that they beat us. I think that's my personal issue. Vincent says, you guys remember McKinnon versus Bob in the All-Star one-on-one competition? The team speed of the Avs is scary, though, with Ekblads on defense. With 2 Ekblads on defense, are you kidding? It could be an issue. Oh, Calgary won in the shootout anyway. I see. Okay. Michael says he had good teams in front, then bad teams. Just a crazy difference. It's a crazy difference. Right. No, I get what you're saying, Kachuk. And it's just, I mean, it happened with New Jersey. That's the thing. 22-23 New Jersey. I mean, 2.45 and a 9.11. And then, the next year, 3.18 and a 8.90. But side to side, to me, that's his problem. Connor says, I know that was a great play by Point and a goal from Geeks, but the slowness of Vanacek moving has made me laugh out loud. He's so slow with that, Connor, that when I said, there it is. I said, it's in the net before the pass was even made, because you just knew. You knew that he wasn't going to get over in time. Now, I don't know. To me, honestly, it looks mental. It looks like he doesn't recognize in time where the puck is going. Yeah, itchy scalp alert. Yeah, Vincent. Yeah, I shaved earlier today, and I got an itchy scalp. Colin's got, what do you got? Breaking news, Colin? Right, yeah, Michael says he's not Bob, but his quality of play is heavily influenced by the team in front of him. This is very true. OJ says, yeah, the same PTSD from Tampa's series. Better not be that nerve-wracking because last year's wasn't too bad, right? Hey, Flames. Yeah, man. Just missed it. Just missed it. We were rooting for you last night. I hate it's just, but Minnesota getting it with 20 seconds left. What a bummer. Colin says, from an interview that Tkachuk did today, it sounds like he's back for game one. All right. Michael says, Vanny is slow in the head compared to an elite goalie. He can't break down the plays before it happens. Yeah, it's kind of what it's looked like. I mean, I'm sitting there yelling the other night on the wraparound. He's done it a couple of times where I'm yelling, move! And you can see what's fixing to happen, and he's just standing still. No Lomberg in the playoffs. Hey, Eyes! Thank you, buddy. Hey, Eyes, thank you, bud. He says, all the Tampa fans saying last night means something. They were saying, try this again. All the Tampa fans saying last night means something. We're the same saying in 2021 when we beat Tampa in the last two games that it meant nothing related to the playoffs. Panthers lost in 6. Absolutely. Yeah, we beat the crap out of them those two games, right? The situation's very reversed, except for the part where, no, actually, his situation's very reversed. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, did anybody see the, thank you again, Eyes. Did you guys see the interview that they gave Maurice at some point in the second period? He said something to the effect of like, well, we're resting some guys. We got, guys that have played a lot of hockey. And then he said, he like almost rolled his eyes and he was like, I guess we'll keep trying. Like it was just so obvious that he knew, like, his only instructions were, guys, just go out there and don't do anything stupid and just stay healthy. Kachukin says Tampa has no idea what team they're going to be getting to play because we have no idea. That's kind of might be accurate. Yeah, at least Fleury has one more shot at playoff glory, Cade. Yeah, I was happy when we were watching that last night for him. If Chucky's ready, game one. But what's ready for Chucky, right? Eyes, yeah, it's a good point. That's when Kucherov came back that year, too. Good point. Yeah, he said this game doesn't have enough meat on the bone for us. Yeah, that's right. Kenneth says Panthers didn't allow 10 last night. Is that a problem? Well, at least we did. Yeah, it was 9-2 that year. Yeah, we'll be all right. What we need now is we need further prediction to come through, for my joke to come through. We need Montreal just get a point. Hey, I'm talking about you, Habs fan. Please don't do this. All right? You can't choke. You guys can't choke this away. All you need is a point. One stinking point. Come on now. you got to take care of business against the Canes tonight. I mean, it's bad enough what happened with Chicago, but all right. Just is it nerves, Habs? Or were the guys starting to hold the stick a little bit too tight? I did not expect them losing to Chicago like that. I says, my biggest worry is we don't have a chip on our shoulder from losing in the finals the year before like we did last year. Yeah, I mean, motivation-wise, certainly you would think Tampa's got a pretty big advantage. We won we won 2 championships, Eastern Conference championships in a row. We've got the cup that we went all last year to come back and get. And it's not like there's been any kind of narrative around the Panthers like it was a spoof that they won or they didn't really there's been no narrative dismissing the fact that they won the cup. So motivation is going to be hey, we want to repeat. Well, of course you want to repeat, but that's not the same as coming back from the year before. Vincent says, Kachukin said, I think I'd get in trouble if I said. Kachuk said when he asked when he'll play again, I will say it's been very good the last few days on the ice. I've really only been on the ice for a couple of days with like legit skates, so I'm just trying to peak sometime around game 1, so I'm looking forward to it. Huh. Trey, and the Canes are a rebuilding team. You're going to keep saying it. I don't disagree there. I don't know what they're rebuilding to, but Craig says, we'll definitely see if the switch still works. Yeah. I mean, they're just going to have to turn it on and leave it on. Kachukin says, we have a bunch of new guys with something to prove. Well, we do have some new guys. Those first 2 games. I mean, if we really are going to end up with Balinskis and Forsling on the top pair, we need to stay out of the penalty box. We'll put it that way for sure. Bolvar says, just going to say the Penguins did the same thing. They lost so much that they left the door open for the Panthers to take the final playoff spot. And you know what happens next. Yeah, that's a good point, Bolvar. Ab says, tonight we better wake the F up. We play the Hurricanes. Yeah, we're going to be streaming the game, Abs. Kyle and I are going to be streaming Montreal versus Carolina because he wants Columbus to make it, and I very much want Montreal to make it. Eric, I would not doubt if Tampa was hungrier, for sure. Trey says, if you trade your best player at the deadline, you're a rebuilding team. That's your rule. They didn't trade Taylor Hall. What are you talking about? I hear what you're saying, Eric. Yeah. Kachukin says, Kachuk can't say he's ready to go until the last game is finished. Otherwise, we're 100% circumventing the cap. Yeah, it sounds about right. It sounds about right. Trey says, Knights Jackets Cup final. Oh, boy. Meadow says, will Kyle wear his Jackets jersey? Yeah, I'll get him. We've got a Jackets jersey. I'll put the Montreal hat on. Yeah, I don't have a Montreal jersey, but I have the hat. Let me see. Let's bring it up. Hold on a second. Remember, I hadn't But the Montreal hat I thought I had and then I didn't. And so here it is, fresh from Amazon. Brand new in the pack. I was going to use this in a different way for the skit, but that's okay. I want to make sure it fits. Because some of them are pretty small. I think this one's going to fit. This one might be but it's adjustable. This is a nice hat. This is a much nicer hat than some of the other ones are. Let's see. Got to make it shorter. Let me see. Does it fit? Do I have to adjust it? No, it's nice and comfy. Oh, that's nice and comfy. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I got the hat for tonight. I'll just take all the stickers and everything off. All right. I definitely look like a dude from Quebec. Yeah, right? Yeah, that's a nice looking crappy hat. Yeah. Yeah. It's nice though. It's soft. I was expecting it wasn't expensive, so I was expecting something a little bit more like what I have on my head. But that's nice and soft. I wish my Panthers hat was that soft. All right, everybody, I'm gonna roll. Gotta go get the eBay work done. Tonight we'll be live 7:00. Now I already put out. There will be no members podcast today because I already put out the one video for the Panthers and Lightning series preview. I'm going to. When I'm done with my work, I'm going to try to get out. I want to get everything together to get Toronto and Ottawa preview out so I can get those done today. And then tomorrow we'll start working on some of the other series. If Montreal does not clinch tonight, Colin and I will be live tomorrow night for the Jackets game. So Montreal needs to win a game. So my script is good and we get a night off. Other than that, we'll be live every day until Panthers win the cup again. All right, everybody. Appreciate all the support. Thank you for all the super chats. We'll see you tonight